there, I have a question for you. Are you overwhelmed sometimes by the mountain of confusing and conflicting health information that's out there? And do you struggle with trying to figure out how to make it work for you? Do you wish you could take better care of yourself or find a way to take better care of yourself and your loved ones, but you just don't know where to start or what to focus on first? Do you wonder why it's sometimes really hard to break an old bad habit? And why some people are really successful at it and others are not? If you said yes to any of these questions, then you're not alone, because I hear from very many of you that you struggle with and have a hard time with making healthier and better lifestyle choices. Okay, so especially when it comes to your diet and your nutrition. So that's why in this session today, I'm going to cover why people tend to get stuck in a health rut, because they get stuck in their unhealthy lifestyle habits and eating patterns, and it keeps them from being able to enjoy the health and wellness that they desire or that they say that they want. And so I'm going to talk about the 5 key things that most people are missing that need to be in place if you want to have meaningful, lasting wellness and success. So if I were going to say that to you in plain English, here's what I would say. If you want to stop feeling crappy, if you want to get rid of the aches and pains, you want to lose the extra weight, you want to get your energy and your mental clarity back and be productive and enjoy your life and not set yourself up for a potentially bank-breaking, soul-crushing future of misery, chronic disease, and terminal illness, these are things you need to start thinking about putting into place if you haven't already. And if you do have some of these in place, maybe you need to dial them in a little better. Does that sound good? Who's with me here so far? So please share this post or tag anyone you know that you think would benefit from learning more about this topic. So here are the 5 key elements I see that most people are missing. They need to have in place in order to break free from those disempowering habits that keep them from achieving the results that they want. Number 1, they don't have specific and clearly stated health goals. Now, most people don't have specific health goals, if any at all. They don't have anything that they're specifically working towards. Most people tend to take a piecemeal, haphazard, almost shotgun kind of approach when it comes to their health, right? They deal with stuff as it comes up, and usually by going to the doctor in search of a medicine to get a quick fix. Or if they're, not particularly crazy about going to doctors, they may do research on the internet, collect as much information as they can, poll their friends and family in hopes of finding a quick and easy answer. So this is kind of what you would call a very reactive approach, right? And most people tend to be reactive when it comes to their health and not proactive. So now you may have a lot of good intentions, all the best of intentions, but you know what? Intentions don't create results. Goals do. And that's why when I say you have to have clearly stated goals, they need to be specific enough that you have a way to measure them and measure your progress towards them, because otherwise, you won't stick with it if you don't feel like you're making any progress, right? Or if you can't see any definable or measurable result. And remember that a lot of times with health situations, you're not going to see immediate or instant results because you didn't get to where you're at overnight. You got to where you're at as a result of accumulation of factors and things over a period of time. So it takes time and persistence. And so if you're not really clear about where it is you want to go, how are you going to get there, right? How do you get there if you don't really know where it is you're headed? So that's where having very clearly stated health goals is important. And the more specific they are, the better, okay? Let's say, for example, you have a fitness goal. You just want to get into shape. Okay, that's a very general goal. And that's an example of what I mean by non-specific. It's not a clearly stated. It's more of an intention. But you might say to yourself, okay, I have a goal. I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. That isn't really very specific, right? And it doesn't speak to the ultimate goal or outcome of what you want to get by going to the gym. Going to the gym 3 times a week doesn't guarantee anything, right? You could go to the gym, do a little bit of stretching, maybe a couple of sit-ups, maybe pull a couple of weights, and then you come back home and pat yourself on the back because you accomplished the goal of going to the gym when you said you would. Now, you have to dig deeper than that, right? I mean, what do you really want to get when you go to the gym? Why do you want to go to the gym in the first place? Do you want to go because you just think that's what people do, when they're intending to get fit? You got to figure out what's the ultimate result or outcome that you want to get from going to the gym, and then sort of backwards, reverse engineer it, so to speak. So, you figure out what is it that I want to do, whether it's gaining weight or losing weight, getting more muscle, more strength, whatever it is. Then you got to figure out what type of workout is going to get you the fastest result or get you there fastest. And then you need to figure out, is this something I can do on my own, or do I need a personal trainer to help me get there? Okay. So I always say, you have to name it to claim it. Okay. So, if you have trouble with this sort of thing, there's something you can do called a well-formed outcome. And this is an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming technique. And it's designed to make sure that whatever it is you say you want is really congruent with what you actually want. So a lot of us will say things, but they're not really like aligned with what it is we want deep down inside. So this is a little exercise you can do that will help you get to the bottom of it. So let's say you said your goal was, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week. You may take out a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle, vertically, so you have like 2 columns. And on one column, you're going to ask, you're going to state what it is you want, the goal. And then next to it in the other column, you're going to ask yourself this question: why is that important to me? And write down your answer. And whatever your answer to that question, and you want to write the answer in the left column underneath the first statement. And whatever you answered, you're going to go back to the left column and ask yourself the same question: and why is that important to me? And then you keep doing this, right? You keep doing this and doing this. You drill down until you've uncovered all the reasons why it's important to you. Then you can go back and you can look and see, is that aligned with the initial goal that I said? Or is something else coming up for me that I'm maybe either unaware of or in denial about? What's the truth about what I really want? And there's one just little technique you can use to help you get to a place where you can have some clearly stated goals, especially around your health. Okay, so who gets what I'm talking about here? Type the word goals in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. So number 2, second piece that people are missing that that they need to have in place. There's no action plan, right? You don't have an action plan to help you get from where you are now where it is you want to go. Once you know what it is you want, where it is you want to go with the goals, then you need a plan or a roadmap of some kind, right, to help you get there. The path just isn't going to just completely reveal itself to you, but you got to put some effort into it. And your roadmap or plan, it needs to have some clear milestones in it so that you can measure your progress, right? You know that you're on the right track. Now, you can think of it this way. Think of it as a checklist, right, of all the things you need to accomplish or all the steps you need to take to get you to the end result. And that's where being really specific about your goal, when you state it, comes in really handy. So for example, another example, let's say you have an end goal of getting off your blood pressure medication, by a certain date or a certain time frame, in the next 6 months or in the coming year, whatever it is you decide. Well, first you have to know what your blood pressure is right now, right? And then you need to know what it needs to be and stay at in order for you to be able to get off your medication. And then you have to identify what the other steps are that you need to lower it, right? And so there's going to probably be different categories or areas. Obviously, there's going to need to be some dietary changes or restrictions. There's going to probably be certain types of exercises you could do that support you, and stress relief activities, or, that kind of thing. So, I know I'm being a little bit broad here, but I think you kind of get the picture. So what you want to, again, is you could do like a 3-column format. And in column 1, you have dietary steps or restrictions. You have exercises in the next column, you have stress relief in the 3rd column, and then you start identifying what are the specific things you need to do in each of these areas. Make them like a checklist. And as you complete them and check them off, measure and note your blood pressure to see, where is it now I've done all these things, right? So who gets what I'm talking about here? Type the word roadmap in the comments below if you know you need one to help you accomplish your health goals. Now, one of my mentors likes to use this analogy. I like it because it's true, and it applies to anything really, not just your health, but any kind of ambition that you may have. Sometimes we're so busy focused on what we're going after and looking ahead out onto the horizon that we don't really pay attention to what we've actually completed and done and how much progress we've made. So, because if if you're standing on the beach looking out on the horizon, it's infinite, right? It's never ending. So you could get on a paddle board or on a boat or whatever and start moving out towards the horizon. It doesn't matter how far you go, the horizon still looks the same, like you're never going to get to it, right? So the only way you can know that you're making progress is to actually turn around and look behind you and note how far you've come from the shore, right? So if you don't take the time to turn around and look behind you, you won't see how far you've come since you started your journey. So remember to turn around and look behind you so you can see how much ground you've covered. And one of the great ways to do that is with the checklist, right? So if you create your action plan roadmap with your checklists and you check the items off, then when you look back, you can review the checklist to see how many items you checked off. And there you are. have a roadmap with milestones, okay? So number 3, they don't have a framework to direct their focus. Now, they don't have a framework or a context to direct their focus so they can remain focused on the most important thing they need to achieve. You know, the thing that most important, essential few things they need to do to achieve the goal, right? So it's easy, right, to get overwhelmed, to get sidetracked, to get distracted, and quickly lose your way, right? If you've ever made, let's see, I see your face, but I can't see you. So hello, sorry about that. So if you ever made a New Year's resolution, then you know, and who here hasn't made a New Year's resolution to lose weight, to quit smoking, to exercise more? You know how easy it is to get off track and just plain give up, right? And it usually happens pretty darn fast, right? So without a framework to help you stay focused, how will you avoid straying off the path and stick with the goal and stay focused on what you need to do? So let me explain a little bit more what I mean by, I'll give you an example of what I mean by a framework or context. In my free masterclass, Is Your Diet Slowly Killing You or Just Keeping You Tired and Overweight? I shared a framework for understanding the 3 core root conditions underlying all health problems. Okay? Once you know what these are, you can now use these as a framework to help direct your focus and your activities to help you make smarter, healthier lifestyle choices. Now, for example, one of the conditions I covered is chronic inflammation and what causes it, right? We all have chronic inflammation to a certain extent. And here's how you would use chronic inflammation, for example, as an organizing principle. So you can look at it that way as well. An organizing principle or framework to guide you as you move forward with your action plan or your goals. Okay. So what you would do is you'd ask yourself these types of questions. For every piece of food you want to put in your mouth, you're going to ask yourself, does this piece of food increase my inflammation or help lower it? For every product you might be thinking about buying or using, you're going to ask yourself, does using this product help me get better or make me worse in the context, okay, and framework of chronic inflammation, right? And likewise with a habit or behavior. Does engaging in this habit or behavior help me to lower my inflation or does it make it worse? My inflammation. Sorry. Same kind of thing, actually, in a sense. Now, I know I'm being a little broad here, but asking questions like this helps you to direct your focus, for example, away from foods, products, and behaviors that are more harmful for you and make you worse, make your inflammation worse, and helps you stay focused on moving towards finding foods, products, behaviors, and creating new habits that support your health by lowering your inflammation, or at a very minimum, they're not creating more of it in your body. Does that make sense? Okay. So number 4 is failing to take action. So now you may have these other 3 pieces in place. You may know what your goals are. You may have a plan, an action plan, or a roadmap put together, or you know, an outline of something that you want to follow. You may even have the context or framework to help you do it. But the reality is nothing happens until you start to move. Or as Tony Robbins would say, make your move. So, yeah. I got a little distracted there, yeah. I was just visualizing him in my head, and this big guy going, make your move. Okay, so a big part of the reason people don't jump in and get busy to work on the things that they've mapped out already, the goals, the plan, the framework, but they don't get started, like they don't actually take the action. And it's not because they're lazy, right? And it's not even because they don't really necessarily know what it is they're working towards, but it's usually because they don't have enough actionable information or simple strategies to help them just jump in and get started. And because you need to get started, of course, and then once you get started, you need to create and stay in momentum, right? And the best way you can do that is if you just have some simple strategies lined out and some additional information that you can just use right away, okay? And this is especially true when it comes to diet, nutrition, and fitness. Who knows what I'm talking about here? So here's an example of a simple strategy and actionable information you can use if you're trying to learn how to eat healthier, right? It's things like having cheat sheets, like tip sheets, shopping lists, recipes or ideas for preparing healthy options, all already laid out for you that you can reference, take with you when you go to the grocery store and do your shopping, or when you go out to eat, so that you have a quick and easy way to remember what you need to steer clear of and what's okay for you to eat, right? Or buy or prepare. And this, by the way, is one of the many things you get in my healthy eating course, which is designed to provide you with simple, actionable information that you can put to use right away. So if you missed my free trainings this past week and you'd like to learn more about the course, you can go here and check it out. I have a special offer going right now, so if you want to take advantage of it, you might want to go jump there right away and check it out. And if you'd like to just get on a waiting list to be notified of any future trainings that I do, free trainings, giveaways, that sort of thing, just type the word trainings in the comments below and I'll reach out to you with some options for how to do that. Okay, so last but not least, number 5. Most people don't have a mentor or support system to keep them accountable and keep them on track. Okay, most people, if you want to do something you've never done before or you've not been successful accomplishing, then you need the support and guidance of someone who's been there, right? Trainings, yes. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you. You need the support of someone who's traveled the road that you want to travel down, the path, or has achieved what you want to achieve to guide you. And you need to have a good support system of some kind to keep you accountable on track so you can stick with the plan and ultimately achieve your goals, right? So everyone who is successful has had a mentor or has a mentor who guides and supports them to achieve their goals and their desires. And everyone who has a great mentor accelerates their success and their results, okay? Mentors can help you avoid expensive and time-wasting mistakes that can actually make you sicker, right? And a great mentor can see things you can't see for yourself, right? They can see things that you can't see. They can help you unravel the obstacles that will ultimately, inevitably get in the way and stand between you and your success. And a wise mentor knows how to help you think straight when you're about to beat yourself up about something or you start to get tempted to stray off the path and give up. So who here has a mentor or a trusted advisor that helps you achieve your goals? Type the word mentor in here below if you do. Okay, let's do a quick recap here of what I just covered. Okay, you need the 5 keys. Number 1, you need clearly stated health goals, right? Because how can you get started on anything and know where you're going if you don't know where it is you want to go? Okay, once you know where it is you want to go, you need, number 2, a roadmap or an action plan to help you get from where you are now to where it is you ultimately want to be. And we talked about using checklists, as a way to help you create milestones. Mentor, yes, Jennifer, me too. I have a few mentors too. And so we talked about the roadmap and checklists to create signposts and milestones so you can measure your success in moving forward towards your goals, right? And then the checklists can be organized by categories, they can be prioritized or not. And as you go through them, you check them off. And that's one way you remember to turn around and look behind you at the shore instead of looking ahead of you on the horizon so you can see how far you've come by how many milestones or checklist items you've checked off. Okay. Then we talked about having a framework or a context that you use as an organizing principle to help you direct your focus. So you stay focused on the few essential core things you need to do to get the result and to get the optimum result, right? And then number 4, the biggest thing is that getting started, right? Taking the leap and taking the action and getting into momentum. And the big thing that seems to hold a lot of people back there is not having enough actionable information and simple strategies that they can put to use right away. Get to work right away, create momentum, and then stay in the momentum. And then last but not least, most people don't have, but could really benefit from having a trusted advisor, a mentor, a coach, or some kind of support system to hold you accountable and support you in sticking with it when you start to backslide or are tempted to give up, because as you know, it's really easy to get distracted and stray off the path and lose your way. Now, you may have all these things in place and there's still going to be some obstacles that you might encounter. So let's talk about what some of these other obstacles are, okay? Most of these are core limiting beliefs that many of us hold about our ability to do something, right? And they're subconscious. So it's not something that you're really clear. Don't give up. Yeah, I agree. Stick with the plan. These are typically self-limiting beliefs. We may have gotten them as, indoctrinated as young children or, from life experiences that have taught us this. And these are typically things that hold you back subconsciously and keep you stuck. It's one of the reasons why people stay stuck in bad patterns or bad habits. Because for you to break a bad habit, you've got to be able to replace it with a better habit, right? A good habit or a better habit. So when it comes to investing in yourself and getting the support you need to succeed in any area really, but especially in your health, there are four common ones that tend to show up. The first one is time. We all have this limiting belief that there's just not enough time. There's not enough hours in the day to do all the things we want or need or should do, right? But think about this. I mean, it's really crazy. Like when you consider how much lost time and productivity is experienced when you don't feel well or you're sick, it seems almost crazy to have this thought, I don't have enough time. Because really, if you don't have enough time to get healthy and stay healthy, if you can't find the time to do it now, when and where are you going to find the time to be sick? Right? Who knows what I'm talking about? All right, that's number one. Number two is money, okay? Many of us believe it's just too expensive and we can't afford it. So if you're one of those people that's feeling like, oh, I really want to take better care of myself, oh, I really want to eat healthier, I can't afford it. Here's what I want you to think about. If you think wellness is expensive, try illness. Who knows what I'm talking about? Like all the time that you spend wanting to, but never actually doing something because you're just believe that you don't have the money or you can't find the money, you can't make it happen. That's time that's just lost. You never get that time back, right? And in that interim, while you're hemming and hawing, your healthcare costs just keep going up and up. Your health insurance premiums keep going up. The cost of care keeps going up. And as you get older and sicker, it gets even worse, right? And so it's really important to pay attention to this one limiting belief, because if it's keeping you from investing in yourself, your health is an investment. It's an investment in yourself, in your future, in the future of your loved ones and the people who care about you. So this is a really big one, I know, but it's something to pay attention to because it might be keeping you from doing something that would actually save your life in some cases, you know. And of course, that's a little bit extreme, but that's a really important one. The third one is like difficulty or perceived difficulty or ease of use. If you think that something seems like it's going to be too complicated, too difficult, too time consuming, or too out of reach, like just don't believe that you have what it takes to do it and to make it so, right? And then the last but not least is self-worth or self-esteem. And that is that deep down inside, you don't believe that you're worthy of having and experiencing the benefits of good health and vibrant living and the perceived hassle and cost and expense and time of what it takes to get there. So this is like the really core underlying limiting belief that just runs all the others, right? It feeds all the others. Because isn't it true, if you don't believe yourself, if you don't have self-worth, you don't believe deep down inside you're worthy of having these things, will you make the time for it? Probably not. Will you find a way to find the money and make it happen? Probably not. Will you jump in and make the effort? Probably not, right? So that one core underlying self-limiting belief feeds all the others. So just be aware of that. And now, having said all of that, I'm just going to leave you with some parting thoughts. Creating sustainable wellness requires knowledge and information as a starting point, right? But you got to do something with the information. So you need to turn that information into a transformation that gets you where you want to go. So to do that, it requires more. It takes effort and persistence and the correct mindset to achieve the lasting results that you want. But it always has to start with you making a commitment to yourself to put yourself and your health first, and then get the guidance and support you need to follow through so you can be successful. Who's with me here? Okay, I hope that you got some value from this session. If you did, please share in the comments below what your biggest takeaway or aha moment was from what I shared with you today. And if you'd like to learn more about my healthy eating course, you can check it out here. I'm gonna put that in here, the URL. So like I said, I've got a special offer, limited time offer going. So if this is something that piques your interest, go to this URL, check it out, and join us. I'd love to have you join us. I'll also post the link in the comments below when we're done. And if you'd like to get notified of future free health trainings, then just type the word trainings in the comments below, and I will reach out to you with a couple options for how you can get that information. And that's it for this Wellness Wisdom Wednesday. Until the next time, be well, everybody. Bye now.